Every single sales update that would come out that would show the Bud Light sales getting worse and worse. We have yet another sales update to go over today that shows the sales once again getting worse than I ever thought that it would honestly get. I thought that it was going to get pretty bad, but honestly, I never imagined it getting this bad. But every single sales update that would come out, I would say in these videos that surely heads have to roll in the future. Like, people are going to have to get fired publicly to try to gain back some good favor, try to gain back some good perception to the Bud Light and Anheuser Busch brands, because if they just continue to have these people who hired Dylan Mulvaney, who did all the other stuff that they're doing recently on Twitter, that's very, very embarrassing, that we probably won't even have time to go over in this video. But the very embarrassing things, the very embarrassing statements that they're making, they have to do something to try to show everyone that they're trying to make changes, that they're trying to do better over at Anheuser Busch and Bud Light. And here we go. Here is the first heads that will roll. This article from Outkick says Anheuser Busch executives responsible for Bud Light disaster are gone report. So ever since this, we got this announcement quite a while ago. We got the announcement that the Vice President of Marketing, Daniel Blake, and Bud Light Marketing Vice President, Alyssa, I think is how you say her last name, that they were both placed on leave. And everybody was saying, oh, it's just a leave. That doesn't mean that they're fired. And I was saying, no, they're 100% fired. They just want them to go quietly, because if they publicly fire them and humiliate them, they're going to lose the good favor that they gained from, the small amount of good favor that they gained from the Dylan Mulvaney crowd by having Dylan Mulvaney be hired to be a brand ambassador by Alyssa and the other guy, Daniel Blake. So if they fired them publicly as soon as that situation went down, that's kind of like an admission of guilt. That's like an admission that they've done something wrong. And back during that time period, the sales weren't down consistently every single month like they are right now. Like I said, I didn't expect it to get this bad. And if I didn't expect it to get this bad, then surely Anheuser Busch and Bud Light never thought it would get this bad either. I mean, this is one of, if not the first really, really successful boycott that the right has pulled off, or that, just not the left has pulled off. Because I don't even think this is a right-wing boycott at this point. It's just kind of like everybody with common sense isn't drinking Bud Light right now, because it's just not hard to do. Like, it's not like a difficult product to boycott. It's not like it's an undeniable product. It's a very mediocre product that had good branding over the years, and now the branding is in the trash. So what is the point in even buying Bud Light in the first place now? But whenever I said that Alyssa and Daniel were both fired from Bud Light for platforming Dylan Mulvaney because they were placed on leave before, and whenever I said that they were gone, everybody came at me and said, oh no, they're just placed on leave. Everybody said the same thing with James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. Whenever I said that James O'Keefe has been fired from Project Veritas because of a coup, everybody was like, oh no, he's just placed on leave. He'll be back in a couple weeks. It's all fine. It's not the case, man. It's not how these companies operate. So as you can see here, the report from Outkick is that Daniel Blake and the Bud Light Marketing Vice President, Alyssa are both no longer with Anheuser Busch for their roles in the Dylan Mulvaney debacle, according to text obtained from a current regional head of marketing by the Daily Caller's most prominent journalist, Henry Rogers. The text describes the pair as gone, and noted, to my understanding, if we publicly announce the word fire, it opens up potential for them to sue us. That's why we said leave of absence. It was previously announced the two were simply taking a leave from the company. It now looks like it wasn't really the case, and the pair has permanently split. Now, this kind of opens a question for me, is does this leak now give them grounds to sue Anheuser Busch or sue Bud Light, whoever officially fired them, whoever they officially worked for? Does this leak, if it does turn out to be true, does this, even though they're not officially announcing their firing, does this give them grounds to sue Anheuser Busch? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you know, because I'm definitely not a legal expert. The source also told Rogers wholesalers were told they are both gone for good by leadership during in-person conversations. They already shifted all their direct reports to new people and the head of marketing. Unfortunately for Blake, it appears he might have been caught up in a crossfire that ultimately cost him job, or I guess his job is what they meant there. To be fair, Daniel Blake was actually awesome. I think he just caught in a crossfire, but also he did hire her, so that's a fault. The unnamed source confirmed Rogers, so he was pretty much fired for hiring Alyssa in the first place. So I mean, he's definitely responsible for that. I guess it's reasonable for them to fire him, trying to show the shareholders and trying to show that their audience that they're trying to turn over a new leaf, but at the same time they're sponsoring these very, very disgusting pride parades that are happening, so it's not going to work. And like I said, doing very embarrassing things on Twitter. Alyssa infamously claimed Bud Light image was too fratty. Those comments came to haunt her and seemingly ended her career after Bud Light teamed up with the trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. And like I said, we also have a new sales update for Bud Light. Bud Light obliterated in latest sales data, down nearly 30%. It's insane, dude. I never thought that it was going to get this bad. And I honestly, like, it seemed like it was kind of dying down on social media a bit. The talks around the Bud Light boycott was kind of dying down a bit. You know, on TikTok, it wasn't going as viral. There wasn't as many funny clips going viral on TikTok anymore. And I thought that kind of meant that the sales would go somewhat back to normal. Not all the way back to normal, but start trending in that direction, but they're still going down. And this is just proof that the Bud Light brand is forever tarnished. I think that everybody, and I don't think we should, I think we should continue the conversation. And if you want to do your part in that, to hit like on the video and comment below what you think the sales of Bud Light, what do you think the percentage will get to that they are down? But I don't, even if we all just stopped talking about this altogether, the damage has been done to the Bud Light brand. We don't need to talk about it anymore in order to keep this Bud Light boycott going. The brand is just dead. Like, nobody wants to touch Bud Light anymore. Nobody wants to be seen drinking Bud Light. It's an actual insult to like say that you're a Bud Light drinker now. Like, I even watch like normal people who have no idea that any of this is going on YouTube. Like, I guarantee you they don't watch these types of videos. I'm watching sports streams, like college baseball live streams, reacting to games and stuff like that. And people are calling the team, like the other team that they're playing against, they're calling them Bud Light drinkers. Like, that's how bad this has gotten, where just normal everyday people who don't pay attention to stuff like this on YouTube are calling the team that they're rooting against Bud Light drinkers. Like, that's how bad this has gotten. As you can see right here, sales were down 28.5% for the week ending in June 17th compared to the same time period last year, according to data from Bump Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ. That's even worse than the 26.8% decline Bud Light suffered last week. 28.5%, man. Can we actually get to 30? Will Bud Light sales be down actually 30% week over week? That would be crazy if we actually got there, man. Let's keep our foots on their neck. Let's continue this. We also have Matt Wallace tweeting this out, and I think this is more of a prediction than, you know, a reporting, but he says Bud Light filing for bankruptcy, only a matter of time now. So it's definitely, you know, it's a prediction in the future, but it is something to think about. Let me know if you think that Bud Light will eventually file for bankruptcy. I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know if that's going to happen. Like I said, just something to think about, you know, that people are actually talking about that being a possibility. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Could those people, could Alyssa and Daniel Blake actually sue Anheuser Busch or Bud Light now because those texts have been public? And let me know what you're thinking about Bud Light firing all the woke people, firing all the people involved in the Dylan Mulvaney platforming. Let me know what you're thinking, man, in the comments.